Miguel Hidalgo made triathlon history for Brazil at the end of May by winning the country's first series gold in the modern era. It was a milestone that he felt was coming, but had been working for since the age of just 6 years old. We caught up with him just a few days after that incredible WTCS Alghero win and ahead of his T100 debut in Vancouver to get a taste of the rollercoaster ride he's been on and just how far he thinks he can take it.
Hey, how are you?
Good. How are you doing?
Really struggling with jet lag, honestly.
Yeah,
Waking up very early,
I'm not surprised.
like at waking up at 3 a.m. and not being able to sleep. Yeah, but I'm feeling good and training well, so
Yeah?
all good.
Like, give us a sense of like the sheer number of messages and everything that is presumably come your way since Saturday.
Yeah, I receive a lot of messages. Like Brazilians are usually very supportive,
Yeah,
and a lot of people have been following my career since I was very young, doing races like since 6 years old. So a lot of people know me from very young age. So to see these people feeling represented and proud, it makes me really, really happy. I try to respond to every message, but it's not possible. But I try my best.
yeah. We were talking to the comms team and British, uh, Brazilian triathlon. They were just saying that yeah, the clips were everywhere on TV there and everything.
Yeah, it's crazy because it's something really new for us.
It's massive. It's absolutely massive. And like you said, I mean, Brazil's not been without talented triathletes. There's been plenty coming out, but just that top spot has been elusive, right?
Yeah, actually, we had a world champion back in 1991. It wasn't an Olympic sport yet at the time, but now, like 34 years later, we won again. So yeah, basically, yeah, 34 years without like a it wasn't WTCS before, it was World Cups when
Yeah,
WTCS started into 2009. But yeah, it was so long, and it feels like the first time for most people.
totally. Yeah. So yeah, like you said, you've been at this a very long time since you were 6. Like but it was interesting. I remember your coach was saying, was it was it the swimming that came first, or was it the running and then he got you into swimming? I can't remember like which way around it came, but no, was
No,
it swimming first?
swimming came first. Swimming came
Yeah,
first. I started swimming with like 3, 4 years old,
yeah,
and at the time, my daddy started doing triathlon when I started swimming.
yeah,
So we used to go to the pool at the same time, and he used to leave me in the kids' pool and go to the 25-meter pool. And yeah, that's how it started. And then with 6 years old, I think I started competing in swimming, and I kept competing in swimming until I was 14. It was when I decided to go to triathlon, but I did triathlon since I was 6 also, because in the kids race, uh of the races my dad was going, I was always doing. So I was involved in triathlon for almost 20 years now, basically.
yeah. That is crazy, and like, and also identified very early on as a real talent, right? I remember that there was your maybe it was your mum saying that like as soon as that coach put you on the running track, he was like, "Whoa, hang on, this guy's got something else as well as the swimming, right?"
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I was always focusing in swimming. So swimming like six times a week since I was really, really young.
Mm,
And I was naturally talented for running. I think swimming was is not really my natural talent. It's running, but swimming is more like a long time training. But I was always very talented in running. I always liked biking as well. But every time I was doing like I was sometimes following my dad in his running sessions and everything. And I remember since I was really, really young, I could do like under 20 minutes 5K without any training. I was could do like 19 minutes 5K,
At what age?
basically training like 11, 10, 11 years.
Jesus.
So I think I had a high VO2 and talent for running since very young. But then when I started with my coach, he decided to still focus in the swim. And as I was already talented on the run, he decided to develop the swim and bike first. So that's why I just increased my running volume like only a few years ago, and then I became competitive
Mm.
in very high level. But uh, we decided to focus in swimming and biking first to be a complete athlete. You know, is sometimes it's not worth it if you focus too much on the run when you're too young, and then you're not a good biker. So it's you're not gonna have a chance to win in every race scenario. And to kind of stay in the top for a long time, you have to be complete. Like Leo Berger style, for example, a guy that has no weakness, and that was the goal since the beginning. So yeah, I think we were very patient over the years to just win now. Now I think I became a complete athlete, and hopefully I can win in a lot of race scenarios. Like if it goes to the run,
Yeah.
I think I can win. If it's a breakaway on the bike, I still can win. So that's the goal. I think to be competitive for a long time is the only way.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, because I'd known like for a long time that the swim has been like a key part of your makeup, but I don't know if that was sort of as widely known, if you know what I mean. Like, it's not like you were doing Hauser type constantly top three, or even DeVay pretty much always first out, right? There were times where you were like first, second, third out of the water, but there were times that it just wasn't clicking as well, right?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Like I feel I have the performance to be always in the front, but sometimes I don't know how to deal with fighting in the swim. So that's why like
Yeah,
sometimes I don't swim very well, but of course I have the fitness and potential to be always in the front. And now with the better ranking, I can
yeah,
hopefully I can choose better places to start and not fight that much. But it's something we are working on, like being mentally well with fighting in the swim and keep the technique. So that's important. And yeah, and also when I started focusing a lot more in running volume, of course my swim got worse when I was not running such a high volume. I was swimming easier in the front, and now we have to find a balance. I know I have to accept that when I'm running a high volume, my swing is going to be worse. But then in the tapering week, my swim comes back to a high level. So yeah, but sometimes it's not so easy to swim in the front like it was 2 3 years ago, maybe.
yeah. So those times when you were further down the start list and just it's just way harder to find those feet and to find you the right line, and it's not even I suppose necessarily at the boys, right? Even way before the first boy, there's just limbs around you, and it's very different starting on a far side next to Matt Hauser or bang in the middle, and I don't know.
Yeah, I'm okay. We are always learning. Like every race, I learn something about the swim, especially, and a lot of times I was so obsessed with being first in the first buoy that I was swimming so fast in the first buoy, and my lactate was incredibly high, and I couldn't swim the rest of the swim. And when you are punched in your face with high lactate, it's much harder to deal mentally with it. Then if you have a different strategy and not start so fast, try to just like the two first minutes of the swim. Now I try to swim the first 2 minutes a bit more conservative, and then I try to attack the buoy, so that way I can get to the buoy with lower lactate, and then I can swim better the rest of the course. So
Yeah.
yeah, we are always learning about the swim.
What's the high lactate getting punched ratio? What's going on there? How does that impact? How does one impact the other?
I mean, it's hard to remove the lactate after if you swim. We test a lot of times, like in race pace, 300 meters in the pool, and if you make a mistake, you can get to the first buoy with like 7, 8 lactate, and then it's really hard to remove to a level where it's acceptable to swim 1500 meters and actually ride good right after. So ideally, we try to start the ride with a bit lower lactate so I can attack the bike from the beginning,
Mm.
which is very important these days. I mean, if I was too tired in the beginning of the ride, maybe I was going to get be dropped in the group there in Algueros. But luckily, I finished the swim very well, and I was ready to start the ride. And yeah, sometimes it's more intelligent to swim a bit more conservative if you can. Some people can't and have to do maximum in the swim, but uh, right now I think when I'm feeling good, I can be a bit more conservative to feel better since the beginning of the bike.
Yeah. Yeah, it was another one of those races. Let's dial in on Alghero a bit then, but it was another one of those races where the sort of composition of that front pack was absolutely crucial to its success, wasn't it? Had Leo not been there, you would have had to do way more. I'm not saying like you and Matt Hauser and Max Stapley couldn't have done the job as well, but
Yeah,
Jesus, that was some first two laps, and he was on a mission, and you were therefore able to follow that and then take the pulls as soon as he was sort of
yeah.
easing off a bit.
I mean, the first lap, I would say like fully credit to Leo, honestly. In the second lap, I started to help him. I think. And then for the most of the ride, me and him were taking more pulls, but of course, a lot of all the guys in the group, we have to give them all credit. But the first lap, if it wasn't for Leo, we wouldn't make it.
Mm.
He was so strong in the first lap, and I couldn't take any pulls, to be honest, in the first lap. But then I started feeling better and better and started helping him. But yeah, with such strong guys in the second pack, it wasn't easy to open a gap. But I guess when the gap is growing and growing, maybe it's a mind game, honestly. Like who gives up first? And I think the second group gave up with like 5, 6 laps. They basically gave up, and we started opening a huge gap.
Mm.
Like I think we were into 2 minutes because they basically gave up on trying to close. That's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, I guess yeah, I guess you're right. But yeah, what kind of it was interesting the type of course. Like sometimes there are courses where you just get way more of a sense of the speed that everyone's gunning around at. This was definitely one of those cases. Those first two laps were undoubtedly some of the fastest. Like seeing that up close, and what was the sort of power being pushed on those?
Yeah, when I was taking pulls in the first half of the ride, I was almost 500 watts in the front, like 400 high when I was taking pulls. And then when I was behind, I wasn't even looking at the power, just trying to rest a bit and go to the
Yeah,
front again. But yeah, actually, the part where you were watching the race, it was basically a bit downhill and tailwind. So this watching from outside must feel so fast because we were riding in the flat sessions like 55 k per hour. So it looks very fast.
yeah, yeah.
And then yeah, the course was really fast actually. And when I did the bike familiarization the day before and the same day of the race, I was pretty sure that it was going to be a small group because it's better to ride in a small group because of the narrow sections. And I knew I had to swim really well to have a chance. And maybe it was my ticket to win the race, and it worked.
A brand new course is always like the big unknown, and like I don't know. What was your take on it as a whole?
It was. very exciting course. I really liked the course. Uh, I was honestly a bit af afraid to, because I'm not so good technically on the bike. So with a lot of narrow and a lot of corners, I wasn't so confident. But I think respecting the course and being aware of what you're doing makes you stronger because I guess you pay more attention to the details. And in the end, it was good for me because my legs were so good that I could kind of compensate my bad bike handling. And yeah, but overall, the course is really beautiful. In my opinion, this course is much better than Cattery.
Yeah. Well, and you obviously, yeah, you very much called it in the pre-race interview about the tailwind going up and down up that hill at the end, and like how much that small pack was gonna, how important that was gonna be, right? This was that was the detail that you'd dialed in long before the race started.
Yeah, because uh, in the beginning was headwind, so I guess it's easier to stay in the wheel. But with tailwind, especially downhill with such high speeds, if you're not strong, you can even lose the wheel.
Mm.
And I knew that, especially the gap opens very fast after, like, the U-turn was uphill and downhill. So if the group is going already like 55 kilometers per hour and the other group is like 40k an hour, that's when the gap opens. So I knew in the first lap it was really key to be in the front in the first U-turn, and then maybe you never see the group again if you lose a wheel like downhill there. So it was really important, was really paying attention to this. And to be honest, to have Leo since the beginning with in the front was really key for the success of the breakaway.
Yeah, yeah. And then you knew exactly coming out of transition, once you've realised presumably that the legs were capable of it, that you just needed to put as much distance between you and those two as quickly as possible, and that there was a chance that you were going to be able to break certainly Matt and,
Yeah,
as it turned out, Leo.
yeah, and in the first uh like narrow corner, Tyler Reid and Pierre Lecour, they crashed right in front of me, and I don't know how I could save it. When I saved that crash, I was like so grateful, and I was like, I don't even
Gonna be
know
a
how I
good
did
day.
it. It's gonna be a good day. I'm blessed today. Today is my day because if I didn't crash, I managed to save this crash that was so obvious I was going to crash. I mean, today is my day.
What was it? Did you manage to just go like between, or just like an instinctive little shimmy?
I had to watch the video again because I don't even remember.
Yeah.
I just remember like I was like 30 centimeters from his wheel and he just crashed in front of me. I don't know how I saved it. I had to watch again, but the adrenaline levels were pretty high after that.
There was quite a lot of, I mean, for a course that didn't have any like spectacular kind of crashes or whatever, there was a few incidents like that. Was that just on a what was the part of the course?
It
Because it,
was going to the U-turn, the first corner to the right side,
mm,
you know,
just before the rise up to the
just
U-turn.
before, yeah, the first corner to right, and then it was left, and then we were going to the U-turn.
Right.
This first corner to right, it was quite slippery actually. In the next, so I was always being very careful in this corner because I didn't want to crash and risk a good result. So I was really being careful and trying to be in the front of the group
Mm,
to not like have the risk of crashing there. So I was trying to be very careful in that section especially.
yeah. Yeah. And then yeah, so and the run, it was just like we said, just all about putting that gap in on Matt and Leo as quick as possible, and then and breaking them early.
Yeah. Uh, Actually, it was my best T2
Hmm.
as a. I think it was my best T2 so far, and in the last lap, I was basically in the front of the pack the whole time. So I think the other guys kind of respected me, and like it's not a rule, but they just okay, you
You've
deserve
taken it
to be
home.
front in T2. Yeah, yeah. So I kind of deserved to start the running first, and then when I put the shoes on and started running, I was in front, so I just decided to pace. And then when I realized that I was opening a gap, I just went for it because when you, I think I had to use this opportunity to open a gap, and Matt Hauser especially because his last kilometer is so strong, and it's really really hard to beat him if you're if you are with him in the last lap.
Mm.
If you see the if you check every race, the times he's his most races even faster than Hayden and Alex in the last kilometer. So it's really hard to beat him in the end. So when I saw the opportunity, I just went for it and paced myself to open the biggest gap possible.
Which, I mean, your first two run laps were the fastest, certainly.
Yeah,
And
I think
then,
the 5K split was 14:27, I
yeah,
think. But I opened like a 20-second gap in the first lap, and then 10
another
more
10
seconds
seconds.
in the second lap, and then it was stabilized.
Mm.
And in the end, Hauser started to started closing. So I was happy. I opened enough gap in the first half.
Yeah. So, and I mean, yeah, even I guess like the sort of recognized bullets of the moment in David Cantero and Hugo Milner were only marginally faster than over the second 5K. And that was with you taking your time down that home straight and really enjoying it.
Yeah, yeah. I hope I most races I can run without Cantero and Munir bothering us. It's better this way, but I mean they're running so fast, and trying to avoid starting the run with them is always a good choice. And luckily we did it in this one.
Because I mean, Yokohama, that bronze, you looked as the most disappointed I've ever seen someone with a bronze medal at a WTCS, I think.
Yeah, because honestly I was training. I was even surprised. I was like being surprised with myself every day in the altitude camp because I was doing sessions. There was like I can't believe I'm doing this. I was in really great shape.
Yeah.
So Yokohama this year was the first race I was actually in the start line, uh, with a realistic chance of winning a WTCS. So honestly, I thought I was going to win Yokohama because my shape was really, really good. I was doing crazy sessions, and I was really confident, really relaxed and chill before the race. And not making the first group was a bit disappointing. In Yokohama, I didn't swim very well there. And then I think I started the run a bit cooked already because I wasn't feeling as good as I was in Alghero the first lap of the run.
Yeah.
I was just surviving behind Vasco and Hauser there. And yeah, in the end of the run, I didn't have anything left in Yokohama. And this way, um, this time in Alghero, I could swim well and then be more in control the whole race. I started to run with more energy left, and yeah, I just felt great the whole way, and feeling good in the run since the beginning gave me a really good chance of winning the race.
Yeah, because I mean, I remember catching up with you before Paris, and it was a similar. There was a similar confidence that you were exuding there in terms of like, yeah, your shape and the sessions you've been doing, and it was like this could be on. And then, but there's obviously so many other
Yeah.
variables, and you can be in the shape of your life and still feel like crap off the back of a bike, right? That's not, there's too much going on before that.
Yeah, I mean, triathlon is such a complicated sport, and even if you are in great shape, there's so many things that can influence your performance in the race day. And it's not like swimming where there's nothing outside. It's just you against you, and it's a contact sport really. So it's not just your fitness that is going to. Sorry, I left the call because someone called me. Sorry.
No.
But I was saying that in triathlon is fitness is not everything. Like you have to know how to race and know how to deal with the race dynamics to use things in your favor and be able to win. So race experience is a big thing, and being calm and relaxed and blooded during the race makes a huge difference also, to make the right decisions and be
Mm.
able to show your best shape.
Yeah. Much like your coach Marcelo keeping cool over the last over the last.
Yeah, that's something that I I told him like back a few years ago. He was always so emotional in races, and I told him I don't want you to be like that. I want you to give me only feedbacks and be less emotional, because maybe this can influence my tactics and I can be too excited maybe. And since then he started being more calm in feedbacks in the race, but in his interview was crazy. He was so happy.
Absolutely love to see that. That was brilliant. So is he? So just as a bit of context, I don't think we've covered this yet, but like you're now in Vancouver. Uh,
Yeah,
we left Alghero what 7 a.m. We were in the transfer, so you were then straight to Barcelona, overnight in Barcelona, and then dump straight to Vancouver.
yeah.
And with Marcelo, or has Marcelo gone?
No, he's in Barcelona. I'm with my dad here.
Ah,
My
right.
actually my dad came from Brazil with my TT bike, and I came without bike. So my bike is now in Barcelona, and I'll get my road bike when I go back to Europe to prepare to Hamburg. But now I will only ride my TT bike for the next 2 weeks.
Nice to have been able to get to Vancouver a bit in advance. I guess, does the whole sort of T100 road show not start until race week? Does it like Monday? And then so you're just sort of left to your own devices now to get over the jet lag, to get some training in. And
Yeah, I decided to come here earlier because it was actually my only option, because my TT bike was in Brazil, so I had to like buy a ticket from for my dad to come here and bring my TT bike so I could have some more days to adapt. It's not that easy because I'm not so experienced with the TT bike. I only had like 5 weeks riding in,
uh,
and now I have like 7, 8 rides, and it's a bit of a panic TT training, to be honest, and try to get ready for the race. But I mean, I don't really know what to expect, because I'm basically tapering for a race, like basically tapering for 5, 6 weeks. So fitness going down, fatigue going up, and
yeah,
yeah, we see how it goes. But I think uh, I was still in good shape in Alghero, so I'll try to keep the momentum in 10 days and try to race smart, respect the race and my opponent, and see what I can do.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, I mean, Kate Woff went into her first T100 in Singapore with like minimal TT bike experience as well, or miles in the bank.
Yeah, and she won. So
Yeah,
yeah, I think the World Triathlon background is is really important when it comes to to middle distance races also, because we are very used to pay so much attention to details, and yeah, and also like the short course training makes you faster even in T100. So I see some some long course athletes is really struggling to get faster in running and swimming especially. And when you come from short course and you run really fast sessions, I think in my case I just need some longer runs to get used to bigger distances, and I think I'll be good.
Yeah, yeah. But now you're also suddenly sort of sat second in the series rankings, 2,270 odd points to the good, 600 points ahead of
Yeah,
number three, Vasco. I think it's Vasco inside, isn't it? Yeah.
yeah, Vasco in third.
So like, that's 2,220 points out of a possible maximum 2,750. There's only three races counting and then the champion finals. So you're in
Yeah,
good shape right now.
yeah. I have one third place, one first place, and one 10th place. So now I have two or three opportunities to try to change this 10th place into a win, hopefully. And I mean, I think if I win another WTCS, I can be in a good shape and to try to fight for the world title in Australia. But honestly, it would be really hard with Hauser in his house. I think he is the favorite to win the world title, to be honest. But I'll give my best, and I think there's three or four more other guys that can still do a lot of good points and be there in position to win in Australia.
Yeah. Yeah. Plus, obviously there's home crowd advantage, but there's also home crowd pressure, isn't there? Like Aussie Triathlon's been hanging
Yeah,
out for a world champ for quite a long time again.
yeah. We see how it goes. I think uh, also I need a mid-season break to be able to be so late in the season in good shape also. So I think after Hamburg, I'll do a week off because this is so important for me to be ready in the end of the season. Because if I keep training non-stop, you get to a point where it's so hard to recover and you don't gain fitness anymore. I experienced this a lot of times already. So after Hamburg, I think I'll stop for like 5 days or a week, and then start building again. And yeah, hopefully this will put me in good shape in October.
Have you got time for a little trip back to Brazil? I know, like, that's something you always quite like to factor in, isn't it? If it's going to be a proper break, then it's like back home, home cooking, get sorted.
Yeah, back home, recharge batteries and go back to the training camp live.
But is that going to be possible, or this time around, do you think? Will you get back to?
Yeah, I think so. I
Okay.
think so.
Your mum and dad, we obviously did some filming with you at home start of last year. Your mum was revealing a few a few things like that. The power of her home cooking was strong. But is it? Are you massively gluten intolerant or dairy intolerant or both?
Dairy, yeah. It's like especially in race week is not a good choice to eat anything with milk or something, because it really makes my stomach really bad. And when I want to eat something, you have the lactase, the lactase pill, so you take it before, like a pizza or something. So but before in the race week, I try to stay just in rice, basically rice, protein, and something that's not gonna bother my stomach. I actually had a lot of GI issues over my career, and right now also I'm more experienced with that, with dealing with the stomach and everything. I know what works for me and what doesn't work. Uh, yeah, so now this is not such a big problem for me anymore. But yeah, like if you can't eat dairy, you have to change a little bit your diet. But I also try to avoid gluten in the race week also, just because I feel better. I'm not gluten intolerant or anything, but I just feel better if I don't eat it. So I'm very strict with with my diet, to be honest, especially in race week.
But weren't you putting away like 7 bananas in a day or something ridiculous?
No, I think rice is the easiest way to get carbs in.
Your
And
mum
yeah.
brought out this massive tray of fruit and was like, "Oh yeah, this is what he does in an afternoon."
Yeah, I think like changing the carbs is also easier, but rice with a bit of olive oil and salt is the easiest way to get carbs in the race week, in my opinion.
Fair enough. Yeah. And no fears, obviously, of like, T100, that longer distance, blunting the short speed. Now that you're second in the series, you got to be like, gotta keep that sharp.
Actually, I'm fully focused in the WTCS ranking right now, and even if I race some middle distance races, I'm not gonna change my training for that because you don't have many years in many years where you have the chance to be world champion. So I'll take this opportunity. I'll be focusing in short course, but of course I'll race some middle distance races with a short course training because it's quite a lot of volume actually. When you train like 25, 30 hours a week, you are actually prepared for middle distance races. I'm not changing my training or anything. It's not like Ironman where I have to change your training and do a lot of more volume or very long sessions, and then maybe you can lose speed. But I think middle distance is okay to do both.
And just the whole T100 experience is going to be quite a good one to get under the belt, isn't it? You must be excited about just seeing what it all entails. Is Vince racing?
No, I don't think so. I think he's preparing to challenge Roth.
Right. Morgan
That's
Oh
why
yeah, of
he's not
course.
coming.
Morgan's
Yeah, but
definitely on, isn't he? And
honestly, that's a lot of points of view because if you see like guys like Martin Van Riel and Jelle Gins, they are being very successful in T100 and they came from short course. But on the other hand, you see like Vansa struggle in both races he did, and that's quite scary for me because he's so strong and he was struggling in both races, especially on the bike, and then I mean it's quite scary because he was so good in short course, and I mean I don't know how it's gonna be for me. And yeah, I'll just try to learn in this race and see how it goes. But of course, I always want to win, and I'll do my best. But I have to respect my opponents and respect the distance, and see how I do in this one, and hopefully I can show a good performance and have more wild cards this season.
yeah. And you've been training with the BMC group. There's some long distance talent in there, right? I know Laura Madsen. Obviously, yeah, we went up to see her in Denmark as well, and
Yeah,
he was part of the group, right? So there's good
yeah,
stuff.
like yeah, I've been learning a lot from them, like with Antonio Benito, Sam Dickinson, Clément Mignon. So I ask a lot of questions for them, like how's the race ranger? How should I deal with the bike pack and everything? So it's all new to me, and having these guys around is so good to like get to the race more prepared and more mentally prepared, knowing more, uh, because you have people with a lot more knowledge than you around. So yeah, that's good. I mean, the last I raced a local race in Mallorca, so Vancouver will be like my fourth race in a row. Yeah, so see how it goes. I two WTCS podiums and one win in, of course, the local race there. So three podiums, two wins in 3 weeks, and yeah, let's see how it goes. In the last one, I think my main goal was Yokohama and Alghero, and yeah, now without much expectations, just give my best and see how my level is compared to these guys.
How was Mama Hidalgo's reaction? Presumably that was one of the first FaceTimes after the race. It must have been, no?
Yeah, she was so happy, and my dad also. I mean, they are the only ones that really know everything I did to be here and to be in position to win races and fight for a world title, and they know how much I sacrificed over my whole life to be here. So it's so rewarding for me and for them to see me winning and yeah, making them proud is something that makes me really really happy.
They've travelled to some big races with you as well, right? They must have been kicking themselves not to have been there, or maybe they would have just not been able to cope with.
Yeah, yeah. And also, yeah, also my coach he wasn't in my first WTCS podium in weight height. Was another coach there, so he had the opportunities to see my first podium with him in my first win. So he was also very happy with that.
Yeah. Yeah. It's also a lifetime's work for him, right? I mean, he was saying,
Yeah, I started with him when I was 13, 14 years old. So like more than 10 years working together since I was a kid to becoming a WTCS winner. So it's very special for him.
yeah. Well, massive congratulations. Good luck in Vancouver. We've got to give a shout out, a big shout out to Messias as well, Manuel, for his Ironman world record, right? That was in
Yeah,
Florianopolis, right?
yeah, 226, uh, 226 high, very impressive. And now, luckily, he's coming back to short course and he's focusing in the rest of the WTCS season. He even gave up in his world championship spot. If I was him, I don't know if I would do that, but
Oh, of course,
now,
yeah.
yeah, but now we have him back in the team relay in Hamburg. So yeah, let's see if he can put some speed in his legs. I think with he did a short prep to Ironman, so I think he'll be back really fast.
Yeah. Jesus. Oh, imagine a double Brazilian podium. And
Yeah, can
so
you
would that be
imagine
with
that? We can be three Brazilians in the podium, me, Manuel, and Vasco, or or Ricardo Batista,
Ricardo?
because they're almost Brazilians.
So will that be Jennifer and Vittoria in Hamburg as well to make the team?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Cool.
So have the full team, full Olympic team for Hamburg on, I think.
Nice. I saw a little clip of Luisa Baptista running, getting out and stretching the legs, and like, yeah, it's just she's up and at 'em and kind of still on that long road to recovery. Yeah.
Yeah, but she to be running again is such a victory because she was in position that we didn't know if she was going to be able to run again or to even walk again. So to see her being able to run like 5K, 10K is really good to see. And yeah, I think she's now involved with the Brazilian Federation also. So she's still involved with triathlon overall, working with the juniors. So it's really nice to see her passion for triathlon. I think she'll be involved with this for the rest of her life now.
Great. Well, yeah, a huge weekend for Brazil Triathlon. I know Wags, the photographer, was gutted not to be there in person as well,
Yeah,
saying it.
he was in Florianopolis for the Ironman, I think.
Ah, so he did get yeah, he got a big moment for Brazil as well then.
Yeah, he messaged me after the race, and I told him like, now I need to win a race where you are the photographer.
Great stuff. All right. Well, I will let you get away. I know you've got your ride to take care of, so thanks
Yeah, I
ever
have a
so much.
ride in 30 minutes.
Cool, cool.
Yeah,
All right. Well, cheers. Yeah, like I said, best of luck with your first T100. It's going to be a good one.
yeah. Thank you very much, and see you in Hamburg, I guess.
Yeah, for sure. Cheers, Miguel.
Cheers.